بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Continuing with some of the rules helping to contain and guide our reflection in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and extracted and collected from the books of the Tafseer. قلنا the third one ما أبهم في القرآن فلا فائدة في بحثه. Sometimes we find people trying to understand or to try to dig into words or meanings that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abhamaha didn't explain it. So what was ubhim or mubham في القرآن is like not clarified. Someone should not dig into it. I mean, of course, if there's wisdom behind it, like for example the disconnected letters, the wisdom behind it, but try to understand exactly what the meaning of Alif Lam Mim, like someone saying Allah sending the Quran, people they said Alif is Allah, Lam something, and Mim is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of that does not have anything evidence. So anything that not being clarified in the Quran in a way like mubhama, there is no in the way of the Salaf to understanding. So someone should not dig into it. Like, for example, the very obvious meaning, or from obvious masail of this is the coming of the hour. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, only Allah knows the coming of the hour. I think I have to. The other one قال إذا عرف تفسير القرآن من جهة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فلا حاجة إلى قول من بعد. If a particular ayah that have been reported is explanation and tafsir from the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, that there's no need to go further because the Prophet himself he gave its explanation. The fifth one قول الصحابة مقدم على غيرهم في التفسير. The saying and the comment of the companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim had the priority and to be advanced or any other of the mufassirin, because those who lived with the Prophet ﷺ and they know the context, actually they lived all the the events and they know better than anybody else the structure of the language and its meaning. And this is number 5. قول الصحابة مقدم على غيرهم. He given an example and saying what the companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim they said about that. وشهد شاهد, and a witness from the children of Israel witnessed on على مثله, on what the Prophet ﷺ has gave. فآمن, he accepted iman, and you have showed disbelief and arrogance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here addressing two people of Quraysh. So there's the saying of Masruq and there's the saying of Ibn Abbas, and all of it goes to to make combine between these two saying. And most of the Ahl al-Tafseer they say he's Abdullah ibn Salam, who accepted Islam in Medina, and he was Jew, and he witnessed that the Prophet ﷺ is mentioned in their book. So this is to see, like listening and read what the companion they said about a particular ayah will be the priority and the one advanced in understanding that ayah. The number 6 إعراب القرآن ينبغي أن يكون على أفصح الوجوه ولا يفسر بمجرد الاحتمال. الإعراب is the position of the word in the sentence. And I say the position is the role of the word in the sentence, or the role that word play in the sentence. So for example, ذهب علي إلى المسجد. We know ذهب here plays the role of a verb, and that's the action, and known by its action. And it is a related time. علي is the فاعل, is the subject here, he's the one who doing the action. and the complement which is the al-maf'ulu bihi is the masjid, is the place where he's going. So every word in the sentence represents a role to define the meaning. However, when it comes, for example, to many of the words, for example, say Allahu, Allah, and by changing the haraka in the end of the word, it change its role, and how the effect of that noun in the meaning of the sentence. So he's here saying, and that called i'rab. That called i'rab. I'rab is to clarify, is to define the role of or the effect of every word in the sentence. This one is a verb, so it's playing the role of the action itself. This one is the subject, he's the one who's doing that. The other one is the one who's addressed to the action, and so on. When it comes to the structure of the Quran and the ayat, these it's very subtle to really determine the i'rab. So someone cannot do it ala al-ihtimal, by like suspicion or like assumption, because if you do it by assumption, then it's going to change the meaning. However, I can show you it's good to see these things. I don't know if you know this website. A website to help you see some of the qira'at. It's slow. طيب صوتيات. So these are قراءات متواترة, which mean are قراءات being narrated from the Prophet ﷺ with tawatur. I'll take, for example, Surah Amma from Qalun عن نافع. That's fine. Surah Amma. النبأ. And here the recitation that is commonly known is Hafs, رواية Hafs. So if you go رواية Hafs and we go to the same surah, the surah of Al-Mursalat. So this is Al-Mursalat. No, I need Amma, sorry. It's a good website to see the different type of قراءات. And all these قراءات are متواترة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. طيب, this is Surah Am. You see, okay. وكأسا لا يسمعون فيها جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض. Here with the kasra, right? You see it here, right? Rabbi. Huh? Okay, look in the other qira'ah. Rabbu. Rabbu. So here I have i'rab. So this is a matter of i'rab. So the role of Rabbu in this ayah is the subject, the mubtada. The other one, Rabbi, is continuing the ayah before it. So here, a reward from a Lord, ata'an hisaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you with no measure. From a Lord who is the Lord of the heaven, the God of the heaven and the earth. So it's a description of this reward is coming from a Lord, not any Lord. He's the one who Rabb as-samawati wal ard. You understand? Now, the other surah, the other qira'ah, he said, this reward from Rabbik, your Lord, ata'an hisab, and stop. Then you're starting a new meaning. The Lord of the heaven and the earth and what between them, Ar-Rahmanu, La yamlikuna minhu khitaba, becomes La yamlikuna minhu khitaba is the beginning of a new context that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drawing your attention to. The other one is a continuation, you're still in the reward. Thinking of the reward from your Lord, the one who created the heaven and the earth. This one, you step out of the reward and you enter to a new context. So it gives you two tafsir, two meaning, but two meaning that complementing his meaning, adding his meaning. So here, for example, Rabbu mubtada. In the other, is not mubtada, is mudaf, continuing from, or second maf'ul bihi, from jaza'an min rabbika, from your Lord. That's why min jarra becomes Rabbi wa ma baynahuma ar-Rahmani. If you read this, min Rabbi Ar-Rahmani, the other one, Rabbu Ar-Rahmanu. Okay? And those two qira'at are sound and all, from the Prophet ﷺ. There is a lot of this in the Quran. So what is, in our topic, the one that we want to go back to our topic, where is it? Yes. So, i'rab al-Quran, he must be following, afsah al-wujuh, like the most, clear way to be coherent with the meaning. Like this, Rabbu wa Rabbi. It has two meanings, but it is, in compliance, in concordance of the Arabic language. Actually, that's a qira'ah. It's not as, this is a qira'ah that being the Prophet ﷺ read it that way. Like Maliki wa Maliki. The Prophet read both of them. And but someone, if he make that mujarrad al-ihtimal, he said, oh, Rabbu, something like he come up with some, some explanation of i'rab, it does not make sense. And that's where the changing of the interpretation. Example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inna rahmatallahi qareebun min al-muhsinin. كأنه قال, look, someone made it like this is indeed the rahmah of Allah is near to the good doers. قال إن رحمة الله شيء قريب من المحسنين. ثم رد على هذا القول من جوه ذكر أحد وهو أن الشيء أعم من المعلومات فإنه يشمل الواجب والممكن فليس في تقدير ولا في اللفظ به زيادة فائدة يكون الكلام إلى آخره. So here the way to put, for example, قال إن رحمة الله ذكر ابن القيم من قال إنه من باب حذف الموصوف وإقامة الصفة مقامه كأنه قال إن رحمة الله شيء قريب من المحسنين. So someone, he said, actually this shay is kind of being taken away from the sentence, and the Arabic language, it has this quality of taqdeer. So it gives you meaning and have you to understand the meaning on your own. And this is one of the, the strength in the Arabic language, So to say, Inna rahmatallahi shay'un qareebun min al-muhsinin is like entering another element in it. And this is really kind of water down the meaning, and it is not mahdoof. We need to be taken as is. But is enough, alhamdulillah, the example that I show you from the both riwayah of Hafs and Qalun to see one of the effect of the Arab in the understanding or the interpretation of the Quran. For example, here also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah لكن الراسخون في العلم منهم والمؤمنون يؤمنون, those rooted in knowledge and the believer, they believe in what have been revealed to you and what have been revealed before you. والمقيمين الصلاة والمقيم, and those who establish prayer. Some make a wrong i'rab saying wa is like the waw used for the oath when you say wallahi. So wallahi is like Allah making an oath by those who establish prayer. But that's wrong, because wa is for atf. Atf is like adding. So also believe in what we reveal to you, those who establish the prayer. However, the misleading into the one who do not know the depth of the Arabic language, that it should be وَالْمُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ, like al-mu'minuna. When you say muqimina, it comes what we call at-takhsis in the Arabic. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to specify how great are the people who establish prayer. So instead of saying muqimuna, becomes muqimina. So to say where is al-qasam, to swear, which make nasab of al-muqimin, it really take away the meaning of the ayah. So when someone make it without, digging into the meaning, it might change the whole meaning of the ayah, and let's see how the Arab can change fully and completely the meaning of the ayah. ذلك قواعد في العموم. القواعد في العموم, in the generality, it's also helpful for all of us, this one. So do you have any question about the Arab? What we want to know about the Arab part, that the interpretation can be fully changed when you give the wrong effect of the word in the sentence or in the role, as we have mentioned. If you take wow, and actually sometimes I'll give you an example which really the scholar, they have a different of opinion based on this. But this is also in the Arabic language, it's is accepted. Where did it go? Will take you to Surah Al-Ma'idah. Also, you understand from the Quran why the scholar, they have different opinion in the ahkam. Read this ayah. Okay, all you who believe, إذا قمتم, when you stand up for the prayer, wash your faces. You see, they said, and your hands to the elbow, and wipe your heads and your feet to the ankles, right? طيب. The and here, where and where, it does mean sequence, or does mean what it means that is done all together. For example, I said, I went to the grocery, I get water, I get some veggie, I get, an other item, cleaning product. Water, food, and cleaning product. Will you understand that I did them in sequence, or I get them all together from the grocery? Which one will be close to the meaning? The sequence. Someone else said, no, I mean, if, for example, I said, I get this and this and this, right? So I get them all together, but I didn't specify the sequence. Is also right if I say it, right? Someone else said, no, I think you meant the sequence. This is the difference of opinion of the scholar. So some scholars, they make obligation the sequence. Other scholars, they say it's not obligatory the sequence because the most important to do them all. So if you start by wiping your head and ending by, washing your hand, that is right because you did them all. And this is what the Hanafi school, they said based on the role of and in the sentence. So this is also part of the role of the, let's say, it can be part of the i'rab and the nahu. So giving you an example that is concrete, and you'll find the difference of opinion when it comes of the obligatory part of the wudu. The sequence is obligatory or not. Some scholars, they said it's not because the waw for us does not imply sequence. Okay? So that's an example. No, it's not this one. Yeah. طيب, in this قواعد العموم. قواعد العموم, there is this nice rules in the Quran that if in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala order you with something but is not specified what you should do. So this is to generalize the action. For example, give us the example. قال كتب عليكم الصيام. Fasting was prescribed to you as being prescribed for people or nation before you, that you may تتقون, لعلكم تتقون. May gain piety, that's how we explain it in English. But لعلكم تتقون, that you may have taqwa. And taqwa, to shield yourself. طيب, shield yourself from what? From what is not specified. So you have a ruling, if it is not specified, so it generalized for all the action that lead to the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here قال فالمتعلق بالفعل تتقون محذوف, is not mentioned. ويمكن تقديره عدة متعلقات. So you might say لعلكم تتقون Allah, تتقون النار, that you may fear Allah, that you may shield yourself from the hellfire, that you may shield yourself from not falling into or the violation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you see a command without specifying what you have to do, then it can generalize everything within that command. So this is from qawa'id, from the rules of the generality in that generalize the action in the Quran. إذا دخلت ال, and this is we studied in Usul fiqh. Al is the. For example, the. So the, it is like asma'ul jins. So for example, say the humankind, or the man, or let's say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala token, then when they say the believers. So when you say the believers, is all the believers. So this is to generalize the whole body of the believers. So the, when it comes before the noun, which is al, generalize every piece of that body that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning. For example, said إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات. So all the Muslim, all the Muslimat women, all the believer man, all the believer women. So what it comes apply on all of them with no exception. Why? Because we're using al. So this is qaida also. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-muslimina, al-kuffar, so all of them with no exception. So the command or what has been related in that area concerning that particular body, it includes every one of them. Yes, but how we define it in the Arabic by the, when you say the believer. woman, the believer man, the. So if you say, for example, say like believer, this is done for believers. I didn't say the believers. So we're talking about a group of the believers. So we need to go make further study to see who's among the believers that Allah meant in this ayah. But when he said the believers, so there is no exception. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Help each other on al-birr, righteousness. So all the types of good, the believers are invited to help each other in do it. So say al-birr, only salat, zakat, nafaqa, no, all the types of good. Generalize it. النكرة في سياق النفي والشرط والاستفهام also knows that is the umum, it's generalized. النكرة something without the, but comes in the form of negation. يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا. لا تملك, no soul own to it, to any other soul, nothing. No soul. So we didn't say the soul, no soul. So when I say no soul is like means, so this is a negation of a nakira, means also a generalize. This is, of course, we can study it more in depth in Usul fiqh. I'll go further. This is siyag al-umum. Now it comes to a tarjih. I would like, inshallah, to finish the class by the some of the principle of reflection. Inshallah, those are very good too. They're not a lot, so we will summarize them. So at tarjih, if we have many saying of the scholars of tafsir, and they complementing each other, so we don't have any issue. If there's unanimity between them, so there's no problem. With the problem when there's differences between them, which one will be given the priority? So we need some tools to help us, advance one meaning on other. Knowing these tools, so help you to reflect on the Quran, help you when you'll be reading, to know which one that you will be relying on as understanding than the other one. We'll go to the okay, here are they. So القواعد الترجيحية, the rules of ترجيح, ما يتعلق منها بالعموم في القرآن. We'll go one by one. So things that related with the general meaning or in the generality of the Quran. قال فيه قاعدتان. The first thing قال الخبر على عمومه حتى يأتي ما يخصصه. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned a word or a term, we need to take that word in its general meaning. Unless it comes an ayat to specify it. To say no, for example. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى أم يحسدون الناس. Are they envying people for what Allah gave them? So envying people here is general people. However, if you look at the reason of his revelation, we know the people meant by it is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have an evidence that people here are being specifically, meant by being the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. As long as I don't have evidence, so what is people? Equal people, the whole people. Okay? So the term, as we have to take it in its generality, as being mentioned in the Quran, unless there's an evidence, tell us otherwise. So this is one of the qaida. So when I read the Quran, I'm not going to say, for example, ayah in the Quran, that the Shia they use. قال إنما وليكم الله ورسوله. It's good. I'll show you this ayah. Surah Al-Ma'idah, in the same surah. Okay. I read this ayah. Your Allah is none but Allah, and therefore His messenger, and those who have believed, those who establish prayer and give zakat, and they bow in worship. Who are those who have believed? In this ayah. It's all the believers. All the believers who establish prayer and give zakat. And they bow in worship. So everyone who establish prayer, gives zakat, which is like a believer who fulfilled the practicing his deen. He's in this ayah. So there is a hadith who been specifying Ali radiallahu ta'ala. So he said, your Allah is Allah, His messenger, and Ali. He said, how did you understand this, Ali? It comes in the term of generality. It generalized the whole people, all the believers. He said, no, when this ayah was revealed, Ali was, radiallahu ta'ala, was praying, and a needy person entered the masjid, and he was in ruku', and he give him sadaqah while he's ruku'. يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. This is how they make Ali's waliullah, so he must be the successor of the Prophet ﷺ. Their evidence in this ayah. So this is, we said, we have to take the ayah in its way how it's being said, unless there is an evidence, true sound evidence, to say, yes, this believer is this specific person. See, so this is qa'idah. So when someone come to you and said, oh, this ayah meant with this ayah so-and-so, I said, I cannot accept this tafsir because I can see this is alladhina is mawsuf. So it gives the attribute of everyone who pray, everyone who pays zakat, everyone who bow down to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can from this everyone I specify only one person? If there's any evidence, if there's anything in the Quran, if there's anything in the Sunnah, and even if there is the hadith like among them will be Ali, not the ayah meant Ali. Yes. No.
So is that going to be in the beginning like general, but like at the end it says.
That's ayah. It's a good example. Let's understand it, and I'll give it to you as a test. And if you don't answer it now, it'll come in the test, inshallah, next week. So better to answer now. The ayah that Brother Aldi mentioned is this one. Ya Allah. Here it is. I read it, guys. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابئين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Some people who work in the field of the da'wah, they give interpretation with this ayah in a very wrong way. So when they talk with other people of faith, actually in the Quran, for us, you're going to Jannah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, indeed those who believed and those who were Jews or Christian or Sabians, those among them who believed in Allah and the last day and did righteousness will have their reward with their Lord, and no fear will there be concerning them, nor will they grieve. So I said, they believe in God and they believe in the Day of Judgment. How will you explain this ayah? إن الذين آمنوا, all of them, and those who hadu, all of them, and those who are Nasara, all of them, and those who are Sabi'in. It's a religion that existed, and they said, some of them, they said they worshipped angels, other they have, different interpretation of who were the Sabi'in. Whoever among them who believe in Allah and the Day of Judgment, and they do righteous and did righteousness, will have their reward with their Lord. Man amana billah. How make it specific? No, the answer is here. It's not an exception. For those who saying there's tafsir, they say whoever who believed in their time. So the Hadu in Musa and Nasara in Isa and so on. But if we read it today, how can you explain it? Is in man aman. Man amana billahi. So man amana billahi, does it mean believing God? What the meaning of man amana billah? What does it mean believe in Allah? Yes. Yes. They have to fulfill all the pillars of faith. Believing God does not believe in the existence of God, or the God, they define the concept of their God with the Savior and Trinity or things. No, God, Allah. La ilaha illallah. من آمن بالله قال وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله الأخرى وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقضاء خيره وشره. Therefore, this ayah include the obligation to believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whoever who does not believe in Muhammad, he does not believe in Allah. Yes. No, that's. Told me, where's your ears? He told him it's here. That he wants by going to the other faith, believing in what they do does not cleanse him from his sins, because the one who forgives the sins is one. And he only forgives based on his Allah, on the way he made it to be, not what other people they claim it to be. Yes. Yeah, no. Inshallah. طيب. Any question? خير إن شاء الله. طيب, this is the first one. قال the second one العبرة بعموم اللفظ لا بخصوص السبب. This is very important. العبرة, the lesson that we take, is from the generality of the term, not from the reason of the revelation or the condition in which the ayah was revealed for. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about ayat happened, for example, in Ghazwat Badr. We need to understand Ghazwat Badr to understand the ayat, but we don't say that this ayat is only applicable for Ghazwat Badr. So if we limit and restrict the ayat to its reason of revelation, to the condition that was revealed to, then it does not have any lesson for us. So this is mean. So the lesson is taken on the general terms used in the ayah, not from the specific condition or reason for which the ayah was revealed. So العبرة بعموم اللفظ لا بخصوص السبب. So this ayah, for example, was revealed exactly because some incident happened. So to read the ayah and understand it, I don't link it with that incident. That incident helped me to have the big perspective, to orient my thinking, but it's lesson for me and for all of us.
How does it relate to the إذا جاء نصر الله
Yes, but that's bigger. There's a lot of things that's in the Quran. For example, قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها. It's very specific. I'm talking about a lady who came to complain of an incident happened to her. But when you read it, you're going to see Allah's greatness and attribute in hearing everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intervene in an issue into family. Look the kindness of Allah and the caring of Allah. So I look the tafsir from different perspective. If Allah, the kings of the kings, care about a small issue in a family, so Allah will care of you, with an extent and a measure that you cannot even imagine. So your God is caring, not like the God of the Greek, someone who does not even care about you or not know about you in the mythology of the Greek. So this is ayah, give you ibrah, give you lessons, beyond the incident for which it was revealed. Because even Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, when she commented on this ayah, she said, I was in the next room. And she was talking to the Prophet. She said, I could barely hear her what she's saying to the Prophet. And Allah revealed exactly what she has said. To see, subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, Allah listen, and the attribute, إِنَّهُ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And that really boosts your iman to know your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The deepest you say it to yourself, and nobody knows anything about what you think, Allah knows, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the meaning of this ayah is it has horizon and it has great meaning, bigger than the incident that it was revealed for. And that's the meaning of this one. The Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akhbar, when they are mentioned in the Quran, comes, in general, very generalized, not specified. For example, here قال ووالد وما ولد, Surah Al-Balad. Some people, scholars have said, قال Adam and his children. Others they say Ibrahim and his children or child. So وَقِيلَ عَامٌ, and he said every parents with their children. And Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, he said the right answer or the interpretation, it's encompass every parents, everyone who bore and he has a child. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making qasam with, not specific people. طيب. The second one, and we'll go pray inshallah, and we'll meet you after the prayer. Yeah, we still have time. Inshallah, we'll let you go at 9. Now, this is very important. This is important for us because this is when we're talking about the others, the other require more study of Usul fiqh, the other one require more study in the Arabic language. But for us to know, so we'll be like careful, aware of that. When we need something to understand, we can, knock the right door. We said, this is required someone is expert in the Arabic language, or I can dig into some of the tafsir who are being, treating this type of tafsir will help me for, like he said, for example, Ibn Atiyya or Ibn Ashur in studying the depth and the root of the words. This one is very, kind of close to us as people who read, want to understand, which is the context. I mean, when you study the context, السياق القرآني, because every ayah is linked with ayah before it and kind of preparing of the next ayah. So if I take one ayah from the middle, I'm taking it out of its context. So if I understand it of its own, I might understand it out of context, and therefore I will be carrying a message that is totally in conflict of the message of the Quran. He given, let's say, example. For example, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ ابْنَيْ آدَمَ بِالْحَقِّ, and relate on them the story of the two children of Adam with the truth. Some of Tafsir, they said, are two men from the Bani Israel. Said, this story, if you tell me two men, because the story was talking about Musa alayhi salam and his people. So he getting into the same context to say, this is our two men from any children of Adam, they were from Bani Israel. So this will be rejected as ta'wil, as interpretation. By when you continue the ayah, you find it can help you to put the ayah in the context when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about the ghurab, the bird, the crow who come to show him how to bury his brother. So the story is certainly the children of Adam, Qabil wa Habil. So the ayat, when you continue, give you the whole context of the ayah to help you understand it and put it in the right context. Inshallah. طيب, we'll meet you after the prayer. Inshallah ta'ala.